thing. I've got a cardboard box. A boxin'. Oh man, I love Brian Regan's stuff. Or at least his older stuff. Haven't heard much of his new stuff.
I do remember some of his older stuff, and it is good stuff.
Some good stuff. But yes, welcome back.
We're here.
We're here doing this thing. There's a black bar at the very bottom, but that's because I'm too lazy to get rid of the thingamajig.
How dare you?
Yep, how dare me. How dare I be too lazy? I mean, I guess I could just go boop.
Boop. And it's gone.
And the problem's no more. Not like I'm losing anything from over there. But anywho, since we last left off, I redid the structure.
He drew it again because it made him feel better about himself.
Yep. So this is our original image, and then we got. Let's see. Nope. Where's it at? Where's the thing at? So I was looking at that. I was like, boop, and then I take the opacity and be like, chow. And then I did that. And then I did that. And then I did that.
Just the hands. It's like bad editing, but it's just so good.
And then I drew some pants. And then
You're drawing long pants, also known as regular pants.
And then I went over with the other stuff and did that. So now we're almost done. I just need to, get this hand done and do some minor editing and figure out how we want to do the elbow things.
I think that looks fine.
Yeah. And I just got to make sure the shoulder looks good.
Yep.
And I don't have to deal with this part of the shoulder, or this part of the arm, because it's covered in hair. That's the best
Covered
part.
by hair, not covered in hair. There's a big difference with that.
Oh, how's it going, Mr. Duke and Dazed Cat 420?
Oh man, there's people here. What are you doing here? Don't you have better things to do?
I am physically capable of reacting to skate clips, but I don't think I'm able to do this stuff.
Why not?
Probably not. I don't know why.
Oh,
I just choose not to.
you
So,
choose not to.
that's just a thingamajig that doesn't have anything. All right.
It's unassociated. Time to associate it.
Oh, so you live in the same time zone as Surge does.
I'm on the East Coast. Hooray! East Coast represent.
Nope, wrong
I'm
color.
in Jersey.
I'm in the Midwest.
Boo!
It's really boring here.
It kind of is. But that's probably because you don't have any Waffle Houses out there.
I mean, we've got a waffle iron.
That's a different thing entirely.
I mean, they serve waffles.
Different thing entirely.
I mean, I guess. I don't actually know what a Waffle House is. Do they do anything other than, serve waffles? Is it any different than IHOP?
Yeah, it's different. It's more of like take IHOP, but if it was run by like almost like Texas Roadhouse kind of people, like Southern hospitality kind of thing.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
And it's just it's not like it's like the friendly, a little bit of like a friendly atmosphere, but it's also like it has like the feeling of a small town diner at like 3 a.m. but during all hours of the day.
Okay, that
It
sounds like
just
fun.
like it exists in like some unknown space. I've had good food there though. I like going. I liked going there when I went down to Florida the few times I did.
I have not been anywhere that far east.
Yeah, I'm sure you haven't.
I think the farthest east I have gone is Denver.
Hmm. Isn't that west?
Of where I'm at, no.
That's the joke.
Really gross looking hands, but I don't care. Just gonna get done with them.
It's also, you know, inking the lines, make it look straight.
Nope. Oh well, I will fix that later.
Fixing things later. What's wrong with you? You do it live like a man.
So program wise, I have I'm using Clip Studio. Let's see. I got mine relatively cheap because I bought it when there's like a super awesome sale going on.
Somewhere,
Um,
someday.
yeah, so I was upgrading from Manga Studio 5 or whatever to Clip Studio. And I think I spent a total of like $120 on it due to the total upgrade stuff. But that was again because there was a sale going on. Right now for Clip Studio Paint Pro, it's $50 just for everything that you need to buy it on the Mac or buy it for Mac or Windows.
It's
What
not
I'm
bad.
using is Clip Studio EX, which is everything that Clip Studio Paint Pro is, but a little bit of extra stuff. People use it a lot and it's got better animation stuff that goes with it, all sorts of fun things like that. Um, Tablet wise, I've got a Intuos Pro 2, I think, or
Mm.
here, let me see. What does the back say?
It says nothing.
I can't read it because I have my lights off. Okay, so I just have an Intuos Pro. It's the I think it's the 15-inch, 15, 16-inch model, something like that.
It's
Uh,
also an older model. I think you mentioned to me at some point.
I mean, I bought it 3 or 4 years ago, but they haven't actually updated the model yet.
Yeah, that's why I said an old, or at least an older version of the current model.
Uh, and it's about brand new. It is $379. I again bought it when there was a sale going on. I think I only spent like 350. Okay, I lied. I actually spent 380.
What are you? At least you're being honest.
Yeah. Um, if you're looking to get into digital art and you have the funds to do it, at the very least, getting something like Clip Studio Pro, it's a very easy entry into doing stuff like this. It's only $50, and then getting a lower end uh, tablet. I know. I mean, it also depends on how you want to do stuff. Because if you want a Wacom tablet,
Whack 'em.
you're gonna start spending lots of money because they
All
can well
right.
for the higher end stuff, it gets pretty
Proprietary
expensive.
software at its finest.
Yeah, but you've got Wacom's got several other options for entry level stuff. You've got their small. It's just an Intuos graphics tablet. 7-inch by or yeah 8 inches by 6 inches at about $80. Um, but they don't actually have a digitized screen, so you have to look at your computer screen to draw.
Which for some people will probably be fine
Hmm.
because of just understand. It's just hand-eye coordination. But like some people like Houston apparently just want the tablet because it makes him feel like he's better.
Yep. Um, I did actually spend quite a decent. I think I ended up buying a Huion tablet as my first tablet. It was about $70. I don't actually recommend buying that particular tablet because it is a piece of junk. But it was great for what I was for trying to figure out how to do stuff, working on a budget.
Also, for reference sake, I am not an artist. I'm just here to talk and ramble and say stupid shit while
Yep.
this man tries to figure out what he's doing with his life.
Yep. It's great fun.
Is it though?
And if you've got $175, uh, it's buy the entry level Wacom. So the or no, sorry, I'm tired. it's just past midnight for me. Uh, the
He has a bedtime of 9:30.
Yes, and I work a shift that has me work till 1 in the morning, so it's great.
You're fine.
So Clip Studio Pro, I was like for $50. I think that's a pretty good option for digital drawing software.
Hmm.
Other people recommend getting um, Corel Painter. I Mostly because it's a very similar analog to Adobe Photoshop. If you're not willing to spend the 800 bajillion dollars that Adobe wants you to spend, because Adobe is an evil company that wants you to spend all of your money.
Well, on the other hand, if you are on a Mac, most of Adobe stuff should come with the Macintosh
Hmm.
because Macintosh includes that in the price of their computers for some stupid reason.
Which isn't awful if you just
No,
have that.
it isn't awful, but it's also like, why would I buy a Mac if I have to pay for all this extra stuff I'm never going to use?
Hmm.
I got nothing against Macintosh computers. They're all right, and I could use them if I need to, but I'd
I've
rather
got
not.
everything against Macintosh computers, but that's just because I don't like Apple as a company. Oops. Wrong one.
Fat finger. But
So
yes,
the biggest, yeah. So at the very least, if you can get a tablet that has a, thank you for that follow. The If you can get a tablet that has a Bluetooth connection, then you can connect it to like a phone and draw using that as well. I know Wacom does, or not Wacom, but Clip Studio has a digital art program as well, or at least they've partnered with one once or twice or several times. If you're drawing on a phone, let's see, it's AutoCAD has a drawing software that's for free that I actually really liked and actually recommend to people to get. And I'm a big proponent of free.
most people are. You're not the only one.
I mean, technically, nothing in life is free. There's always a cost somewhere hidden in the stuff,
It,
whether or not
it's
it's your
called
data or
taxes
otherwise.
and death.
Taxes and death, the only thing that exist, or the only thing that are constant throughout existence. Um, let's see. Control point, delete. Computer wise, for that much, I don't actually know what to look for. I've heard Chromebooks are cheaper, but
I don't know what Google does with their computers. I can't say either otherwise.
all I know
I
is
don't
that
know if it's bad, but I don't know if it's good either. I'm
mhm.
used to Windows, but I can use a Mac if need be, and I don't know a thing about Linux aside from just like it's a bunch of programming nonsense. And if you don't understand programming, it's going to be hell.
I like Linux. Linux is lots of fun.
I'm sure it's fine. I don't have anything against Linux either, and Linux is a cool thing. Just like saying fuck you, Windows and Mac. I'm doing my own thing.
You have so much more control over your stuff with Linux,
Oh yeah, there's that too.
and it's harder to get viruses with Linux, so that's good.
And provided you aren't stupid,
Oh yeah, that's
you can still download and install viruses. Just
yeah. As long as you're not doing
it's less
stupid things.
likely.
Price wise for computers though,
But
for one
that's
hundred
mostly
and
because
seventy
nothing's
five
made for
dollars,
Linux.
yeah, I can't. I don't. I'm not because I haven't had to buy a computer. I haven't actually had to look at that level price range in a while. Um, I know back when I was first starting college, Toshiba satellites, decent computer. They were closer to 300 though at that time, 3 to 500.
But it's also like if you depend, but yeah, it also depends on if you plan on doing something else with it. If
Yeah,
you're just drawing, or if you're going to like do animation or rendering, that kind of stuff.
yeah. Because if you're rendering, you need
You need a lot of
yeah,
graphic
you need
power.
graphics power as well as CPU power. Whereas with
Just the actual art itself doesn't take too much.
yeah, like I have been able to run this on uh, I think it was a Windows. It was originally a Windows Vista laptop, and it came. And my mom got that laptop when Windows Vista was new,
Ooh, wow.
and I put this on that computer.
But Windows Vista is crap.
Oh yeah, don't recommend Windows Vista.
You
Um,
can't. It doesn't exist anymore.
yeah, computer wise, yeah, I there like you could go look at. I think Linus Tech Tips might have something where they talk about cheaper computers. Um,
You can always look for good deals. April's usually a good month to buy computer parts because it's right after the CES where they've unveiled all the new stuff.
hmm And I
And
think,
that's generally when prices start to drop a bit because the market's moving forward and trying to push the old stuff out so they can get the new stuff in eventually.
hmm I think Micro Center might have some stuff. I don't know what Micro
Yeah,
Center has. I've
if
never
you're
been
on the
there.
if you're on the East Coast like me, Micro Center is a good place to buy like PC parts as well as like build a straight up PC. They got a bunch of like cool people there that'll help you out with that, as well as
I
they
know.
just sell like straight up PC parts. So
hmm
if you just need anything, you can just buy it from them. And
And
they
they're probably a much better resource for what would be decent to get in that price range.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I spent. Yeah, uh, well, and they'd probably also be able to give you recommendations on laptop stuff as well.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
Best Buy is also an option.
I don't like think Best Buy is a bad idea. It's just like I personally trust Micro Center more, but that's also because I like their products.
hmm
They make like compared to like most like SD cards. I got a what is it, 256 gig SD card for $25, which is real like cheap and it's like good quality. But I also like know friends who buy stuff from them like when it comes to PC parts and they're like, the prices are like fair as well as the one I go to has a is an industrial zone, so there's just like less sales tax there.
hmm
So that's just like a small bonus, but
Yeah, so I'd have to go. Like, you'd have to look around in your area as to what
yeah,
happens to
definitely
work
look around
best.
like whatever like tech stores might be near you. What do you think would fit in your price range as well as like for what you're trying to do?
Yeah, Best Buy, they're generally helpful, though they are
They are also looking to scam you
they
sometimes.
their prices are not always you're
Market.
not always getting the biggest bang for your buck when you go with
Yeah.
Best Buy. I mean, I know because I spent I think I spent just short of a grand and a half on my really crappy laptop that I have
All
because it
right
had
then.
well, I did also get it when solid state drives were brand new and super expensive,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, there's that.
spending a grand and a half on a laptop that has, less than a ter or has only about 120 gigabytes worth of hard drive space, not that a great of idea in my opinion.
No, it's not. You can hold two games on there, and one of them is Warzone. Oh wait, you can't hold Warzone on there.
Yeah, basically it's you need a laptop, a drawing tablet. I mean, if you're really good with with your mouse, there's lots of people who do lots of drawings with just a mouse.
Oh
I
yeah, you
just
could
find
definitely do it with the mouse. So
it's a lot more
for
difficult. If you don't want to buy the drawing software itself, there are several other varieties of options that you can go with. GIMP is one. I don't recommend it for drawing, but it is free. It's really hard to use though. It is not.
it's not user friendly.
Oh, it is awful to use sometimes.
All right.
I know because I used it growing up. That's all I
Yeah, it
used
sounds like you did.
because
It was free, and I'm a broke college student.
oh, I used it as a when I was making a web comic
Ah,
in high school. That I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a web comic. It's gonna be great. Don't it was so for animation. I don't really have any experience with what to use for animation. I know lots of people have started using Blender for it because Blender's got all of these really nice tools and it's free.
Blender's also just like a big fucking hurdle because it's just a lot of
Oh,
like
it'll
understanding
consume both your CPU and your GPU.
that, and it's a lot of also just like learning how models work and how to rig bodies and all that fun stuff.
Hmm.
If you're doing 3D animation anyway,
Well, and the people actually use it for 2D animation as well.
yeah, because you would be able to just like flatten out like a 3D image
Hmm.
and just like put it into a 2D space and just color it and whatnot.
But I don't know much about it. I've been using the bits of things that I've attempted doing animation with. I have done using Clip Studio because I don't know, about a year ago. Yeah, the I've been using Clip Studio's drawing stuff, but I haven't really used it a lot, so I can't say whether or not it's good. All I know is that it exists.
It does what it needs to. I think is probably like what your best experience with it is.
Yeah, it did everything that I needed it to at the time. I still haven't actually finished that, but I have been yeah. If you're looking at free, highly recommend Blender, even if you're doing 2D animations.
Hmm. If you're a student, there's probably a bunch of programs that will give you a discount for it because I'm sure
Hmm.
Adobe would give discounts if you're like an active college student and you have like an art program in your
And I know a
criteria and all that fun
I
stuff.
know a lot of companies also, even if you're not a college student, they give discounts to high school students.
There's that too. Yeah,
Um, I think
people
Clip
who are
Studio
learning
might
or
have a
trying to get
program
art.
for that. I'd have to look. I don't actually remember. Um,
Yeah, just do some research, look around, ask friends, other people who do drawing streams and all that. Ask their experience.
And then if you're looking at doing getting lessons for that, it I mean the cheapest option is if your high school offers drawing classes. I don't know how the good old Rona's dealing with that at this point, but
Very poorly, I would assume.
yeah. Oh yeah, a MacBook should probably work just fine.
Oh yeah, MacBook's fine. If you're doing art, MacBook is great because
I
Mac
know.
usually keeps all the stuff added onto it.
Yeah, I know lots of my more artistic friends swear by Apple products and MacBooks and all that. I just don't like them because I don't like Apple.
Yeah, that's and you also like to play games, which Apple doesn't let you do.
They do. It's just really hard to do that on.
Well, you could just do what my friends do, and they just fucking have Windows Shadow installed on the Mac's hard drive.
Let's see.
Draw the one point and then draw the other point
Yeah,
instead of making it one whole line because it's much harder to draw if you make it one whole line.
cheat mode activated. It's called precision mode.
I'll put my thinking cap on.
Oops, wrong button. But yeah, yeah, I don't like that. Let's see. Overall, though, I would say, yeah, getting a cheaper tablet early on, getting the lower end as you get introduced to everything is not a bad way to get started. Uh, it's actually probably one of the better ways to get started because you get into it earlier rather than having to save up and wait for it.
Yeah, it's better to just like especially if you're like new to the stuff, just like do with whatever you can with what you can because like it's also like a matter of just like even if you're not using the best stuff, you can still produce artwork. It's
Hmm.
not like a matter of you need the best stuff to produce the best stuff. Because that's just like how some people think like that, and it's like it's sometimes having good stuff does help the end product, but someone spending $2,000 and making a 200 piece of art can be made on something that's like running like $500 hardware kind of stuff.
Yeah, and yeah, so the MacBook is a Macintosh product. Macintosh is part of the Apple ecosystem.
Yep. That's the other like gripe I have about Apple is that if you want to repair, you have to do it through them, and they are dicks.
Hmm.
That's the other like big problem, and I know this because I've had to deal with Apple because my sister loves iPhones and swears by it for some reason.
I mean, their software is good, from
Yeah,
what I've heard.
it's not like it's bad stuff, but it's just like when the hardware breaks, it's like a
It's
pain in the
really
ass.
hard, especially with the newer stuff. It's becoming harder and harder for third-party, non-Apple vendor people to fix.
Because Apple wants you to spend money on their stuff and
Hmm.
doesn't want you doing anything with anybody else.
If you're interested in Apple repair stuff, I recommend Louis Rossmann.
Yeah, there's a guy straight up who's dedicated on YouTube to finding out what you can do to repair the stuff on your own for
Hmm.
like a tenth of whatever Apple would charge you.
Yep.
That's a cool guy to look up. And like he points it out because he also says like everything that Apple does in their computer is just to make it hard for other people to repair.
Oh yeah.
And it's
And
just a dick move on their part.
yeah, I don't know much about Chromebooks. other than the fact that they exist and that they have
Yeah,
been uh,
they're
that a
in the
lot of.
ecosystem, and like the most I know about it is that like schools have started to use them a bit now.
And I know that they've stolen quite a bit of the uh, like laptop
Market.
market out from underneath Microsoft.
Yeah,
And so I don't really know much about Chromebooks. Biggest issue with a Chromebook is whether or not you trust Google.
yeah, that's the other
But I
that's
mean,
the
at
other
this
big.
point, it's like if you use a PC that has Windows installed, do you trust Microsoft? Do you trust do you trust the larger corporations with your information and data because they're always tracking you?
I trust Microsoft more than I do Google, but that's just like
Oh yeah,
a personal
I would
thing.
trust. I don't. Ever since
I
Microsoft.
don't think Google's bad. I just don't
hmm
like take everything they say at face value.
Yeah, so a Chromebook is probably fine. I don't know how well it runs with art software. I don't know any of the specs for Chromebooks because
I
I've.
Chromebook is a fucking mystery to me. Just put a question mark on that shit and call it done.
hmm I've never had to use them. Uh,
Uh, I think the closest I've ever got to using it was like today. I hooked up my phone to basically just like an HDMI, USB C to HDMI, and it created something called the Samsung Dex, which I would assume is more or less the same as just like a Chromebook, because I'm sure it runs on whatever software Android does, or at least if not the software, then maybe like the same. If not the same, then probably a similar enough one.
yeah, so if it might work for what you're doing, you'd have to again look into it more. Uh, I built like I have been using a yoga, a Lenovo Yoga 3, and a PC tower that I built for the last 10
Like
years ish, give or take. And so my idea of what I haven't been looking into what is a good laptop in quite a long time because it's like I haven't needed to. I mean, I do need to replace my screen on my Lenovo. I may or may not have slipped and stepped on it and dropped it on the asphalt. And I mean, the fact that it survived the abuse that I put it through is insane.
I'm
But
gonna say a boost.
my abuse, all of the abuse. Okay. Boop.
Yes, the abuse had survived over the years.
Yeah. Have a good night, Mr. Duke,
Yeah, good night, man.
and good luck. Do, 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 do.
Deleting the control points.
Yep. It's my favorite activity. Uh.
I think that's why it looks off. It has like the slight bend for like one half of the wrist, but not the other.
Yeah. I need to.
Oh, but no, that's the left hand. That should be where it is. Unless like the thumb is like supposed to be sticking on top of her like hip or
I think that's
something.
what it is. I don't have the thumb, and that's what's throwing me off.
Because that's also just like a very like strange way to like have your hand on your hip.
Yeah, I was originally going to put it back here, but I already drew the arm like this. And I was like, I didn't want to move it. Do, 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 do.
Pointy thumb.
come back into here. Go into the control point. Doot, 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 doot. Doesn't really help me learn how to draw stuff, but it helps me get the structure right. Why is there so many dots here?
Probably because you held it on there for very long. There you go.
Yeah, now it doesn't look nearly as weird. Don't want to erase the whole line. Boop.
Maybe a smaller eraser. Oh, that works too.
Need to make that thumb a little bit longer. Yeah, good enough. That looks really weird now.
What, the thumb?
No, not the thumb, just the hand,
The,
where it's just like the
it's
middle finger was stuck in between the
oh,
pointer
the ring
finger and
and
the
the.
ring finger, because
And
just the way that.
you could put your hand like that, but it's probably uncomfortable. I think it's because the way you have it drawn, it looks like the ring finger is like on top of the middle finger.
Yeah,
So you need to move that line underneath that one you're on right now to make it like more of a straight line rather than like that curve out, or like curve it like towards the
oops,
end
wrong one. Dude.
instead of making it come to that weird sharp point there. Yeah, that looks a lot more natural.
Weird
There
blob
you go.
hands. Good enough.
The hands are blouse. What are you talking about? Look at your hand right now.
It doesn't look great, but it'll have to do. Because I'm not doing this again. Actually, that's probably part of why everything looks weird. The fingers are not.
Too long.
Yeah. And this looks like a thumb.
It's an upside down thumb. It's the reverse thumb.
Don't mind me and my thumb. You know what? Simplify vector.
The pointy middle finger.
Really pointy middle finger. I mean, it's part dragon, so you know.
We could do it. We could just make the fingers pointy. Actually, I think that's a way we could do it. Was we could just have it be like subtle on the dragon people, but on like the elders, it's just very obvious that they were dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What's going on here?
ask questions that you don't want to know the answer to.
But I do want to know the answer.
Don't ask questions that I don't want to give the answer to.
I'm stupid. Help.
Simplify vector. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da,
I
da,
think it's
da.
because the pinky's a little too wide.
Yeah, I'm thinking it also needs to be like over here. Something like that. And then I come over here with my good old vector eraser and be like, begone vector. And then realize that I grabbed the wrong vector thing. And be like, begone vector. And that looks a little bit more normal. But now I've got to fix the hand thing. Hand thing. Pinch level. Maybe effective range? Nope. Pinch level down. There we go. Control point, add. Simplify. Connect. Control. Delete. Boop. 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 Yeah, it looks better. It'll have to do.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with that hand. It's just gonna have to look bad.
It's just gonna have to look bad. It looks fine.
It's good enough.
Because you also got to think about, are people going to zoom into it and look at it because they know?
Mm-hmm. And because when you go zoom out like that far, it's like it's not as noticeable.
Yeah, but it's also like, even at just like the size you had it, it's still like not that bad.
Mm-hmm. It's good enough. Good enough for me. Okay, now to come in and do 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 do. Where's the button? Click that button. We need to erase the things.
That's always an art style I like, is when you could see the lines of the eyes through the hair. It's fine, like if you want to get rid of it, but I'm saying it's always an art style I liked when I see it.
Mm-hmm. You know, I could also just leave it. Well,
You
here's
could,
the thing. I can leave it and then decide whether or not the vectors get superimposed over the coloring.
yeah.
Let's see.
It would still be censored. You just wouldn't be able to see
Mm-hmm.
where it starts or whatever, because of the hair be blocking it.
me come in and add one of them.
Just the reflective effect or whatever the hell they are.
Mm-hmm.
The anime loves doing.
Yeah, maybe I'll just add that in when we color it.
Could
Oh
also
no,
just
I
like
turned it off. I,
oh.
I hit the power button on my tablet.
Could also just like erase like a small corner,
Mm-hmm.
like a small dot on the pupil.
Oops.
Where'd you go?
I hit the scroll button while I was over underneath the over above
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
know.
Overneath.
Over and under.
Okay, now we get to come through with the color things. Color things.
Well, what about the details?
Details can piss off.
You sure?
Yes. I'm not drawing abs. I already tried. It
You
ended
gave up on that.
horribly.
It ended horribly.
Well, can't you not see the abs? That's how it
No.
ended.
Can't you see the not abs that I didn't draw?
I did put on a belly button. I couldn't figure out where it was supposed to actually go because I don't know where belly
Yeah.
buttons are relative. Okay, let's see. Do I want to add? I don't know if that. Uh,
What are you trying to do?
I'm feeling like the detail of the other leg just doesn't.
Isn't enough?
Yeah,
Because it would curve inward to go with the body shape. Yeah,
something like
something like
that.
that.
Good enough. We'll call that good. But let's start picking colors. I'll deal with the other stuff later.
Just make her big, strong lady much later.
Mm-hmm. I have my stabilization up like super high.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, just throwing on some colors.
For what exactly?
Referencing. It was like,
Are
hey,
we?
if we see any of these colors and we happen to like them, we'd just be able to absorb it and then
Mm.
move on. Ooh, I like that color. I'm also a big sucker for teal.
It's a good color.
Mm-hmm. I think it's fun. I'm reminded of when I took an art class in like 7th grade.
Hmm.
I had to explain to the art teacher what the color cyan was.
Oh, yeah. You can't explain color. What's wrong with you?
Well, she just had never seen cyan. I was like, "What's your
Oh,
favorite
okay.
color?" Cyan is what I said, and she's like, "What is that? Like brown?" No, you're
It's
the
a
art
blue.
teacher.
It's a blue on the green side.
It's like think turquoise but lighter.
You ever heard of CMYK, bitch?
I did not like her. She was really pedantic about purple and violet.
She insisted they were different.
She insisted that I think it was like purple wasn't a color,
What?
and well, it's like
Oh,
it's
it
violet,
has
not
to be.
purple.
It has to be violet. It's not purple. Okay,
Well,
I
like when you're
understand.
referring to like art stuff or some bullshit like that, I was like, that sounds overly pedantic.
Yeah, that's stupid, and it doesn't. It isn't true at all.
I mean, purple itself doesn't actually exist.
Yeah,
Uh,
purple is like a shade, but also it's a color, much like
well,
anything
no, as
else that
in
is a shade.
it doesn't. It's actually a or maybe that's orange, brown. But basically, I think yeah,
Because you
purple.
make purple with red and blue.
Well, it's actually like it doesn't truly exist. It's caused by our the way we
ultraviolet
perceive
bullshit,
light. And so,
and the way our rods and cones receive light.
yeah, and so the way that it actually like the purple that we're seeing is not actually what the purple or what that color looks like.
Probably not, but also so are most colors.
Hmm. Um, though that maybe also be like orange and like brown are also like weird colors that don't really exist. Uh, it's mostly a like a mild hallucination that our
Mild
brains.
hallucinations.
It's like a color
Right?
hallucination.
Yeah. I don't know if it was purple specifically, but I remember reading something about this because of just like the way the ultraviolet spectrum is,
Hmm.
and how there's like shrimp or whatever that have like 300 rods or cones. I really
Oh,
like that color of purple.
which one? This one?
Yeah, it's a good
It's a
one.
pretty good color of purple.
Just hot pink. How many more colors are we gonna go through?
I don't know. I'm just grabbing colors at this point.
Because I feel like you should just move the entire image over if you're just gonna keep adding colors.
I probably should do something along those lines.
Those are good skin tones.
Hmm.
As unintentional as it was. If you go on the more pale side, you'll have another skin tone. All of the skin tones, including orange. I have severe jaundice. Yellow's a weird color when you add shades and stuff to it.
Hmm.
I think we went through most of the color wheel.
Yep. I don't like most of these colors that I'm putting out, but in case they end up being useful for something.
I mean, like they look kind of like clothing more than anything. Like the colors, I mean,
Oh, I'd actually like that color.
it's not bad. The washed out, faded like yellow. I like how it's been slowly getting wider as you've gone down it. This is an 18 layer cake.
Okay. Um,
So what first?
I guess we'll go with skin color. Start slapping things down, see what happens. I need a new folder. Hello, new folder. Boop, 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 boop.
I like it. I don't know how you
Yeah,
feel.
I mean that works pretty good. What color did I grab? This one.
I mean, you could just like start drawing with it, can't you? and then just erase the entire spectrum so you never have to deal with it.
I'm kind of curious. Just mess around. So you like that one?
Hmm.
Well,
You also deleted the sample you made as just so you know.
so that was a color we like. So I'm gonna put it over here.
Hmm.
Gives more of a Gerudo desert
She's got
skin.
a tan. I
Yeah, basically kind of that.
don't think they
Uh,
live in a desert. Do they live in a desert?
I don't know. Have we decided?
Why would they live in a desert? No, it's a farmer tan.
I actually like that one much better than the first one.
Yeah, this looks good.
Oops, I forgot a thing. Boop.
I
Okay.
was gonna say that's gonna that was gonna end poorly because it wasn't closed.
Okay, so I think I've decided on that color.
No input from me whatsoever. This is the color now.
Mmm, yeah.
I think the other one that you had was better.
That one works, I guess, but yeah, I was thinking this one's much better. I think that was a good skin color, but just not. I don't think it
Yeah,
really
just
worked.
not for the character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're doing that because I was thinking bright red.
Mm-hmm. I was just at this point. I'm just like, let's see what this is like. That looks really good, though.
Yeah,
I like that color of green, bluish, whatever color. Put that over here.
turquoise, turquoise.
Turquoise.
Yes.
That looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
Put that over here. See what this gives us. A little more washed out.
Yeah.
Probably be decent as like a base color, and then I use the darker other colors for shading, or use that
Shades,
for shading.
accent. Yeah. Reverse shade with that.
Mm-hmm.
Make whatever spots later. Gesundheit.
Corona.
Not quite. You don't sneeze because of that. Like a faded pink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not really feeling that one. That kind of burns my eyes.
It's the clash. I think it'd be better as a hair color than.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I think I prefer the other two colors over that one.
It's a very feminine color, I think is what
Mm-hmm.
it is.
I
But
like
there's
that one.
also just yeah.
Let's grab some green. See what we get from that.
I don't think green would fit well. I think it would just clash.
It does kind of clash. Looks kind of gross. As much as I kind of like this, I
I
don't think
like
it.
the color. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't mind the way it looks. It's not awful,
Hmm.
but it doesn't really. I don't feel like it doesn't feel like it fits the character,
Yeah.
especially because I've gotten to the point where every time I'm working on this character, get me to. Ooh, I like that one. That one looks good too.
Yeah, I think this is like the dark colors character.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try one of the yellows you got down there. One of the weird ones.
But I was chanting.
I like that.
Yeah,
Like a
not bad.
brown.
Biggest issue is it feels like it's a little close.
It's too close to skin.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And as much as I think like a normal person would wear that, that doesn't look bad. Not great though. Mostly just because the color.
Yeah. It's just close to black is what it is.
Hmm.
A bit better.
But it's like I've been chanting things like Vegeta no, Vegeta no, Vegeta yes, as I draw the character.
It's also just why I suggested like bright red because red can be seen as the aggressive color.
I do like that. Though we could make her hair bright, a red.
Just bright red.
Yeah. Do we have any bright red haired characters yet?
Not yet. We have the green hair girl, but that's it.
Yeah, that's the only color. That's the only character we've had that's red. This is
Yeah.
also only character 4, isn't it?
Yes.
Outside of the monster, because monsters don't count.
Yeah. That one doesn't matter. Just sulking in the corner, sad faced. I think that blue works.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Now let's move on to hair. Let's try this red.
I like it maybe darker. Yeah. Unless you think something like pink or purple would do a bit better.
I'm liking the even darker one.
Like a black red almost, maroon.
Yeah, so either this one or this one.
You can also see what you get if you move it over like further right on that color square you got down there. So it's like more like saturated and whatnot.
Let's see, where'd the thing go?
The second
There
one.
it is. I'm liking that.
Yeah.
Let's mess around with other colors.
Mm-hmm.
Just because. Dude.
It clashes just real
Yeah.
hard. It's not because like it would match fine. That's just her skin. That
Yeah,
looks
it
fine.
looks fine, but it's still kind of just like,
That's
oh,
just Mercedes' hair.
yep. Who I may or may not have stolen this from.
It's generic anime mom hairstyle. You didn't steal from anybody.
Good point. Well, as in, I quite literally stretched and molded it. Just like, I don't know how to draw this hair. Take a picture of Mercedes and like stretch and like change its directions and like, okay,
I
I've
think
got
it's only
shapes.
Mercedes because she's the only reference you can think of immediately.
I mean, I could probably just go anime mom with hair over shoulder and find a lot of characters who die.
uh, it's the marked for death hair. Oh, we could try like purple or something, unless you think that's out of the question.
I mean, the dragons, there's nothing really out of the question for them.
We do purple with like green highlights or some shit like that. Something awful.
And that clashes too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, this may just be the dark hair color or the dark color per character. Let's see what we get. Nope. I already just don't like that one.
Yeah, it's too bright. It needs. I think it needs to be like washed out or
Yeah, kind of
same as
like that.
with what we've going so far.
But that I feel like that's like you lose
It's
it
too
with the
close.
other.
Yeah, which is why I was like suggesting like red because that's on the other end of the spectrum.
Hmm. This works. Not a, I think I like the red better that we had, but I'm gonna slap it over here just as a option.
Mm, we can do it.
Um, yeah, that one's still a little bit too close. I need one of those washed out. I think it's this one. Yeah, I like this one, but
Yeah,
let's
that's a good one.
see if
So the middle one is like how much washed out, and the bottom one's how dark or bright the color is.
which color did I take it from this one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Doot, doot, doot. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that washed out purple too.
It's good.
I think this darker one looks better though.
Yeah,
So we got those three hair colors there. Um, I guess I never did actually change this color. It does. It does work with that, like the pink
yeah.
scrunchy thing. Let's see. Doesn't really work with that one though.
No.
Um, actually, I think all of these colors work well with it.
Yeah, that's just kind of a good complementary color there.
Yeah, it's not like in your face, but it slightly it works with the others. So,
It's just the real pale color that can kind of just mesh with whatever.
hmm,
We
eye
just go with
color.
the green eyes that lizards like to have.
And then we come in here with an eraser and be like, or even better, we just come in here with a tiny pen.
Make it white. Just pull the S all the way over. That works too.
What kind of highlights do we want? Where do we want them is another.
Do you want them in the pupil or do you want them on the iris? I think that pen is also just a little too small.
Well, I'm also having the issue where you I'm trying to draw on top of the vector line here, and the
Mm.
vector line is over the
Oh, yeah.
paint. There it is.
Do you like the green or I don't know. I think we should just ask about the color first before we do that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let me.
Unless you just want to like draw like a circle around these areas.
Here's the thing: if I get rid of the, let's see, let's. If I do this all with a more solid color like this, replacing them, replacing the color isn't as difficult
Mm,
because then it doesn't leave any residue behind.
yeah.
Because this way, I've no longer got the problem of uh, the meshing colors.
Approximation.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
approximation of the colors. And then I can come in later and fix that. So that's green. At least that green. That's a lighter green.
I like it.
I think I like the brighter green.
Like the real bright.
Hmm.
You want to turn it up to 11 and just put it on the exact green corner. To see what it looks like as pure green.
I mean, that works.
Yeah,
I think I still prefer like this one and this one over that one.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's the color we're going to go with.
Charring it with the tiniest pen. Stupid.
Okay, now we need.
The scale.
Yeah. What if we go with that color? Let's see what happens.
Just make it like a pale like gray or something.
I
It's
think
not
that
bad.
works really well.
Yeah.
I don't even want to try another color. I was like, I like it.
And almost like a silverish metal kind of going on.
Hmm. Okay, now we can work on shading stuff. Something we've never done on this before. Dun dun dun. Click to the
Bam,
layer below.
bam, bam.
Okay, now that I think about it, I may have actually wanted to do all these colors on a different layer. Uh,
And now to undo everything. You could easily just fix it by just like sampling all the color and putting it on the side. Just basically like coloring over the colors you aren't using.
mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm doing. And boop. Gotta make sure I did all this. Oh no.
Where did you go?
Okay.
You fool. Have you done?
What have I done?
Well, it's impossible to tell if you keep the actual colors on there.
Well, I'm doing it so that I know I don't accidentally mess up. So this is
Scale.
body,
That's the body. The other one's the scale.
scale, hair,
and then the hair tie, or do you want to keep that separate?
I should probably do the hair tie on a separate one.
And do it with the rest of the clothes, or just actual separate?
Um, I mean, doing it with the rest of the clothes probably isn't a bad idea because they're far enough apart that it's not going to cause any problems.
Yeah.
Clothes.
I
Eyes.
think that's it. Oh yeah, the eyes. Did you ever notice the letter E looks like an eye?
Does it? What? You confuse me, good sir.
I know I did. That's why it was funny. You know, the letter E also sounds like the letter I.
I mean, depending. That's the joy of, you know,
English.
accents.
You missed the top bit of the I.
I sure did.
There you go. That right eye is like flickering. I don't know why that is, but it is. And I don't know if you see it, but like the right eye, or the eye on her left or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is like some white.
Yeah, it's something that'll get
Alrighty.
fixed, maybe.
Fuck you, pixels. I see you. Oh, you just undid it.
Mm-hmm. I've got to actually clear out the eye socket area, but I'll do that in the eye section later.
All right.
There's some problems, but it'll be.
It can be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you just want to do it on your own time and you just want this to look cool by the end of the stream.
Yep. Look good enough.
And one day, eventually, you will learn how to draw muscles on ladies.
Just or on people in general,
There's that too.
and figure out where belly buttons exist.
It'd be like,
Here.
no, that's too high up.
A belly button right here on the neck.
It's called the neck belly button. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's in style now.
Exactly. They're
I need a
hatched from
microphone to
eggs. They
speak.
don't have belly buttons.
Actually, like right below where your thing is, just like, yeah, about there. Maybe a little lower.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we'll figure that out when I do. So we're gonna start with the shading on the body. Figure out where the light is coming from. Looks like it is coming from this direction over here, based off where we put it for the eyes. So shadows are on this side,
The shadows would be,
coming this direction.
yeah, so they would be just like what, under the chest, behind the hair.
Hmm. There'll be a few other places. Maybe I can try to do some stuff, but clip to layer below. Grabbing this, and then spray airbrush, highlight shadow, shadow the hedge mac. That's not dark enough. Brush density higher. Maybe I want highlight. I don't know.
What are you trying to do exactly? You're trying to make that lighter or darker,
You know what? I may actually just come in and draw the shadow,
and then fill it in, like some
and
people actually
then
do.
yeah, do it that way. Because that sounds far easier. And probably something like right there. I don't know if I like that color though.
Well, it's also like how dark would be the shadow.
Hmm.
Would it be just like slightly less or slightly more? Because it's like how much light is coming through. Is it just like sunlight, or is like she holding like a light source or something? Or is there like a light source held to her face, I guess?
Mm,
And with you using like a brush, it's like showing it'll like get darker the more you do it.
that's the color I want. Excuse me.
Jesus, man, you're dying.
I'm dying.
Well, almost. There you go. And then just basically like the under boob line, and
Yep.
if the hair is blocking however much
Oh,
of
I'm
it,
doing the skin first.
yeah.
Did I forget to do that on the body? I think I did.
I think you sampled the wrong color for that, but I could be wrong.
Well, it was going to be covered in shadow anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
Figuring out how shadows work. Become Shadow the Hedgehog.
Why is it Shadow the Hedgehog?
Because he's the greatest shadow character that's ever existed. Whee! All the way down there.
Yep.
Okay, that'll be probably like that section there is covered in shadow. I don't exactly know because we've got a different light source than the original image. This area right here will be covered in shadow. Most of it probably like something like that.
Her entire arm is covered in shadow.
Her arm is nothing but shadow.
Where is the light source, or is she like bending her body forward?
I was thinking the light source is coming from like way over here, and then I'm gonna come in and fix this stuff. But this is mostly just the rough shadows. You know.
Yeah, I get that. It's just like weird to think that her entire like hand, except for the thumb, is the
Yeah.
only part that is in
It's
shadow.
it's more that I was like I screwed up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Be like it's more like
Something like that, where it'd be just like the pinky and the maybe a little bit of the ring finger or something.
somebody's closing lots of doors at my house.
Oh no, it's a door. My only weakness.
The issue is I don't know which roommate it is.
Oh, is it the bad one?
I don't really have a bad one. I just have one who never leaves the basement, and then the landlord.
uh,
Something like that. And through the power of blending and bullshit like that, it'll look relatively decent afterwards. Okay, next area. Probably got a little bit up here on the
un,
face.
yeah, and then under the chin. Yeah, there you go.
Just put a little bit there. Some there. Probably a little bit around here.
And then just all of it down there.
Got some right here.
The boobs are just at a bad angle. They are much larger than this.
uh,
It's just like halfway down her sternum. It's just where the shadow ends.
yeah, there's actually like a surprising amount of backlash to people making fun of the boob swords that made into Smash. Well, just a
From
lot of people like angry at people for just like, oh, boob swords made it into Smash.
I mean, like I don't care. I was like disappointed that it wasn't Rex with them as like the support
Well, it's
because
more
that's
that they
just
were just lots of people were up in arms that people were referring to them as like boob swords and just
boobs.
talking about the she's like, oh yeah, I was like, we got a pair of tits with a sword as a character and things
To
like
be
that.
fair, they are not like well written characters either, so
Yeah.
their point is not like entirely misjudged or misguided.
But people were just like, "Oh, you can't refer to women that way." It was like they're fictional characters.
One, they're fictional characters. Two, they're inanimate objects. This is not like this is like according to the game story, they are like straight up the sword, but just personified.
Hmm.
It's not like we're making fun of them
I
for
mean,
being
we are,
women.
but
We're not making fun of them for being women. We're making fun of them for being a sword with boobs attached to
look, if Rex not is not capable of all levels of procreation with them, they're not actually people.
it. But they're special or something. I forget what exactly they explained it as.
They're secretly giant anime titties.
I was just thinking of that image you sent me of just like the sword that they use, but with just her tits on it.
That was pretty good.
That was it was just stupid. It's good because it's just stupid. Uh
Boop 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 doop boop boop. I know quite a few people who were rather happy. It was like, yeah, we got somebody from Xenoblade 2, and I'm just like, it's Xenoblade 2.
yeah, that's a fair reaction. Xenoblade 2 was fine. I enjoyed it. That doesn't make it good though.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the characters. The writing was shoddy at best,
The
and at
writing was like
worst, it was just
anime.
awful.
It was more
Yeah,
anime than Xenoblade Cross.
I don't know. Xenoblade Cross is real fucking anime.
At the very least, Xenoblade Cross, you have mechs.
Yeah, but who cares about mechs?
I do. I don't
Also,
actually
aren't
like. I don't like mech anime, but I do like
that's
driving around in a mech. It's like, yeah, I got a giant freaking mech. Fight me. And then my mech instantly explodes because the game has no semblance of balance.
my mech instantly explodes because I got stepped on.
Basically, yes.
But I wanted to fight the big monster.
The big monster is level 99. It says, screw you.
No. Is that what just like the fights are gonna be when we have these dragon people just that massive size? They just step on characters and the fight's over.
Honestly, I think that would be a hilarious thing to do. Simply because it's just like, oh, I was like, I'm suddenly being. I was like, oh, turns into a giant dragon. They
It's
weigh
like,
like
oh no,
80
I'm
bajillion
surrounded, and then
times. How much damage? All of it. Why? They're literally 4 times your weight. Actually, they're more than 4 times your weight.
they're about a good 70 times your weight.
They're like 7 times your weight class.
And that's before they got big.
Something like
I do
there.
like the idea of these people just being like that massive, just bulk wise. They are the big, strong people.
Mm-hmm.
And like the ladies extra so because of the whole matriarchy thing we got going on.
Yep. Probably like there. I don't know. I don't know how shadows work. All I know is that they do work. And if you do it right, everything looks great. And if you do it wrong, it looks like somebody urinated themselves.
I don't know why that's extending up. Like, yeah, because the left leg there is in front, and the right leg's behind, so there wouldn't be much shadow. It would be on the like the far like your right side, I should say. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Something like that.
Yep. And you got it. And now the hair, I think, is what you're shadowing next, or does
Yeah,
the
I
hair
was gonna
not
go
get
and
any?
fix some face stuff that I didn't add.
Hmm.
Some stuff up here. Because this would be in shadow here. Probably not as extreme as this, but...
Extreme!
To the extreme! Something like... Not what I wanted. Something like that, maybe? Maybe I do want that. Yeah, go with
Yeah.
that. And now for the hair. I would do all the weird hair strand stuff, but I don't actually know how to do that properly to make it look good, so I'm not going to. Everybody's just going to have just giant blocks of hair.
Oh, it would just be following the shape of the hair with like slightly lighter or darker color.
Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I won't. Oop, wrong color. There we go.
And it's just like following the outlines essentially. Because the back would be darker with where the light's coming from.
Mm-hmm. And we got some like... And some...
Yep.
Yeah, maybe I want to do this with a thinner pen.
Yeah, a far more thin pen. Just drawing veins on the hair. Just kapow, kapow, boom.
Okay, now the scale. That's probably good enough for that. Dude.
It'll just be like on the back of it, really. Yeah.
Oops.
You fool.
Foolish
Forgot to
fool.
attach.
All right, now we can do highlights because I think I've gotten everything that
Yep.
I can think of. Oh wait, the hair thing.
No, the hair tie itself.
Oops.
Wrong layer. And that's really it. There's no really not much more shading unless like the center a bit. There you go.
Like there's some bits where it's like, yeah, I did like expert level shading there, and then there's other bits where it's like, yeah, that looks like somebody who has no idea what he's doing.
And where's that exactly?
Um, yes.
All of it. Just all of it.
I
What do you
really
mean I did it wrong? This was your idea.
that should be there. We got something like that, and now we need highlights. So now we go lighter. Maybe a little too light. Ah, dropping down.
Drop it down. Do it. Drop it to the ocean. Submerge. The lonely drop of water hits the surface.
Something like that. I'll fix that later.
Yep. Zoom in and out, in and out, in and out.
Okay, body. The bode.
The bodega, also known as the amphitheater.
Yep. And for the nose, a little bit. I don't know where.
Probably just like on, yeah, like the one of like the cheeks maybe.
Squeaky clean.
You did draw her having pectorals. Oh, jeez, that got out of hand. I don't know if you noticed, but the the right arm has like a bit extra on there.
Oh yeah. Oops. I'm drawing this on the entirely wrong layer.
It's a good thing we caught that now.
Yep.
How far back do you have to go?
I think that was everything.
Looks like it. Go forward just in case.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm just gonna put some like all over the place here, and then I'll just like blend it in later, and it'll look good. I promise.
I don't believe you.
That's probably a good choice.
Good. Sure. It's just the Waluigi sound effect from Mario Party 4. That's such like a good Waluigi clip too.
Wah!
No, it's when you pick him as your character in Mario Party 4, and he just goes, "Good choice."
Let's see. Belly button's about here.
A little bit lower.
I don't know my biology.
Yeah, it's about there.
Okay, so we're just gonna go like that. And then maybe actually grab a thinner pen, 10, and be like that. Something like that. Nope, I need thinner. Maybe I need precision. Something like that. And then about right here.
Mm-hmm. Well, not that I can really see it, but sure.
Oh, right, because you can't see when I have precision mode on.
Yeah, about there. You're also drawing with a small brush. I don't know
Yep, I
if
sure
that
am.
makes a difference.
Dear shadows, you suck.
They can sometimes.
Do, 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 do.
You can hear the scratching of the pen.
Wow, because I can't even hear it. I mean, I can feel it, but I can't really hear it. Okay, hair.
Yep, you're on the right one. God, I'm just looking at the mess you made on her face. I'm just not understanding where the highlights go.
I don't know how face highlights work.
It would be on like just the cheek if there are any, with like
Mm-hmm.
where you have it on the nose.
I'm just gonna kind of blend that there,
I hope it looks okay.
and if I don't, if it doesn't look okay, I'll just erase it.
If you're gonna make those thick lines, you might want to try with the bigger brush.
Yeah, then it doesn't look nearly as scratchy. Bigger brush. I think it's funny. The me of I was actually much better at this in high school than I am now.
Hmm.
Because in high school I was doing this all the time.
Yeah, but it's also just practice.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, I can't do this, but that's also because I don't draw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably good. Probably should do some up here as well. Okay, time to get to the blurring part.
Blur. You need to be on the correct layer. and just trace along the outline,
Yep.
make it look neater.
There's another tool that I could do to cause this to be a lot easier, which is where it
It's the healing brush.
yeah, well, it basically is, if I do it right, it allows me to uh not have to come through this like this at all, because it just creates a gradient in the shades, but the effort required to get that set up when I don't actually know how to do it properly is too much.
That sounds about right.
Like, it does great work if you know how to make it work. But that's kind of the caveat with everything.
Yep. It looks great when it's not awful.
Yep.
Look at that corner still white.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to stay white.
Forever.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I'm going to come in probably not during this bit, not while we're streaming here today,
But later.
but later come in and clear that
Or
out.
another day.
I should probably deal with the lips, but that might be something that I do another time as well, because I don't know how to do that. I'm not going to deal with it right now. I'm going to make a bigger pen. Maybe it was too big.
It's too big.
Do, 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 do.
Aw, shit. Ooh, Diablo 2 is getting remade.
Yep. BlizzCon happened recently, and there was a whole lot of people going, it's like,
Nonsense.
oh, they just didn't have a lot to show.
Well, probably because they blew their load fucking last year when they announced Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. And this year, all they have to show for it is, hey, we're still working on it.
Yeah, stuff is happening. Well, and then you also had to deal with the Rona this year, and
Yeah,
that's probably set them back significantly further.
it set back a lot, very far. All of the people were set back because of it. And I blame America.
I blame Wuhan, China.
Yeah, that's a fair place.
Do, 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 do. Brush is a little bit too big.
It's too big.
That's what she said.
Is it though?
Maybe.
I don't think she would say that to anybody. I think she would say it's too small most of the time. How do we explain them breeding?
Um, I mean, in general, I thought there's like we have like they have males of their own species.
Yeah, but like, how did we explain it the first time?
Dragons can shapeshift.
I mean, like we have that like established, like as in like they do have the big and the small,
Hmm.
but like their small is still like massive compared to normal people most of the time.
Dragons can shapeshift. That's all I'm going to say. I plead the fifth.
Please. Way down the line, we're just gonna have people asking that question. How did this happen? A wizard did it.
How did this happen? It's not a matter of how, just accept that it did.
It's snoo time.
Let's just say we used the Dungeons and Dragons. What species can copulate together or
All
copulate,
of them.
whatever the word is. I've never actually
uh,
heard it pronounced. I've only ever read it.
copulate
Yeah.
or copulate, depending on how you English. Just you gotta delete that now. Done it.
Yep.
Back to the
Okay.
bed. Or the pants. Whatever layer we're on now.
We're on the
Who
clothing
knows?
layer.
Actually, we could say the first time it happened because the queen has fucking almighty bullshit powers and could just manipulate the size of anything.
I mean, again, dragons can shapeshift, and then anything after that, I plead the fifth.
Now it's what, just the arms left
Yep.
and the hair?
And the scale as well.
Yeah, but I was counting the scale as part of the arm.
I guess, yeah.
God, why is Handsome Jack just one of the best, like, stupid characters in the world?
I have no idea who you're referring to.
He's like the big bad villain in Borderlands 2.
Oh, that is a good question. Not one that I can answer for you.
I know. I'm like trying to think of like what one of like the funnier moments is. I think like one of the best moments he has is Butt Stallion, and it's a horse that he got diamond encrusted that he named Butt Stallion after the player. Or no, no, it's it's like later where he kills like one of the main character's pets from the first game,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh no, how sad! I'll play you something in E minor." And he grabs a violin. And he doesn't know how to fucking play the violin, so you just hear the screeches of the violin.
That's pretty great.
But he's a good villain because he also like he's the type of villain that's deluded himself into thinking he's the good guy. He's like, I'm the good guy. Why can't you understand this? You're the bad guy. You're trying to kill me. I'm trying to save these people.
Save them from themselves.
Not quite, but almost. Keep zooming out and in. I'm not sure what you're feeling.
Oh, I'm doing it so that I don't have to actually reposition my screen.
Oh, okay.
Because by changing where I'm zooming out at, it causes the screen to shift slightly
Oh, all right.
without actually having to scroll. Sure, I could just hit a button and it changes to the scroll option, but I have to hit the button. Okay, I think all
Mm.
I've got left is the hair and the thingamajig. Let's do the
The what?
thingamajig first.
Oh, the scrunchie. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
I think it's a scrunchie. I could be wrong. I don't know about
It
hair
could just
stuff.
be a ribbon that tied in your hair, but same difference.
Sure.
I don't know women's uh, fashion.
I don't know hair accessories. My hair's too short to have hair accessories.
My hair normally is too short to have hair accessories. My
Yeah.
hair right now is about as long as I normally would let it get, and the only reason why
Mm.
it hasn't gotten any shorter is because I haven't gotten a haircut yet, and I'm too lazy to go out and pay for one.
Just get a pair of clippers and cut it yourself.
I could do that, but then that requires me to get a pair of clippers and go out and cut it myself.
You can just cut it at home, unless your roommates would just find it obnoxious.
Not so much. The landlord does that himself,
Oh,
but he
why
keeps
don't you
his
ask him
hair
for a haircut?
because I don't want a military short haircut.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the he just shaves his down to very little.
It's almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can just kind of run the pen over the whole thing, can't you? Or would that just cause too many streaks?
So like this,
Yeah.
you can see why I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's just causing streaks across.
Because I've also got to make sure I'm grabbing it with the right size of pen, because then
Yeah.
because if I don't, it ends up blurring it too much.
Hideo Kojima is a weird person.
Yep.
Not
I.
on like the levels of Yoko Taro, but he's a weird person.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's got he's got his own eccentricities that are not what you normally see in a developer.
Yeah. But
I
I think
mean,
that's also what makes him like a good game designer.
mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not game designer. I think he's a good like movie writer if he would ever do movies.
I think he was actually looking at doing that. He's a good story director, story
Yeah.
designer. Whether or not his games are any good are to the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. Because Metal Gear Solid 3 is fantastic. And then 5 is okay. Gameplay wise.
And
But story wise they're all like fantastic. They're just like how he weaved the whole thing together was just like what?
yeah, well, it's all just a matter of what you like in your storytelling. Um,
Yeah.
his latest game that he released, lots of people didn't like it. Lots of people didn't think the story was very good, or didn't think the game itself was
Oh,
very good, but the story was
yeah,
there.
Death Stranding was one of those. Was just like
This
it
should have
doesn't
been. This
have
should
like
have just been a
anything.
movie.
A little bit. Yeah, that's like generally what people say, which isn't like a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, you have like all these people asking for cinematic, story-driven games. I hate that now.
Yes, it's
I,
like,
I
look,
hate
if I
I
wanted to
hate the word
play Indiana
cinematic.
Jones, if I wanted to play Indiana Jones the movie, I would just
Yeah,
watch the movie.
I hate the term cinematic story driven now as much as I hated open world back in 2016 because just everybody used that word and it's just a fucking buzzword. It doesn't mean anything now,
Mm-hmm.
and it just fucking hashes out the game and doesn't really like mean anything to it. Fucking all games are story driven if you go on the technical side of it.
Well, not all games. I don't think Pong is a story-driven game.
Don't you know it's the fucking left Pong versus the right Pong and they've been in an epic battle for centuries?
Have they though?
I don't know. They've been at it for a couple decades now. but yeah, like a lot of games. I don't know all about all of them, but like a lot of games do have like some sort of story driving them forward.
Mm-hmm. But like, it's just like the concept of a cinematic story is what they're just like. Oh, it's a cinematic storytelling experience. It was like then you basically just made a movie that you're selling to me as a game
Yeah,
because you're too lazy to make it a movie
yeah,
because you couldn't
pretty
find you
much.
couldn't get the funding to make it a movie, but you were able to get the funding to make it a game.
Isn't it more expensive to make a game than it is to make a movie nowadays? Or is it about the same still?
It's probably similar. I mean, they spend like hundreds of millions of dollars on making movies.
Yeah,
Because I think like Johnny Depp alone, before he got Twitter canceled, uh,
I'm sad.
in his divorce stuff,
Sad day.
because Amber Heard is a person
Cunt.
that exists.
Just say the word cunt.
Oh, I'm putting this on YouTube, and YouTube doesn't like. I mean,
Just
we're
say
also
what.
saying we're also
Just
swearing all the time. So at this point, I don't think
at least
YouTube's.
I'm swearing all the time, and maybe like 15 minutes ago we talked about dragons having sex with people.
Good point.
I don't think I don't think anything's off the table at this point.
And before YouTube guideline strikes us, but it's not like I'm making any money on YouTube anyway. So it's just
Yeah,
like, oh no, I lost all of the things that I was doing on YouTube.
I lost all of the 3 cents I wasn't making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my hand's cramping up.
No, take a minute, stretch your hand. Not good to do this for extended periods of time. I know that.
Oh yeah, it's.
Wearing like proper brace and stretching your hand like
Mm-hmm.
every hour or so is probably a good idea,
Probably.
which I'm sure you haven't been doing at all.
That is definitely what has not been happening.
If you're gonna draw for extended periods of time, please just stop at least every 45 minutes to an hour and a half, somewhere in that range, and move your hand around, do something that isn't drawing.
I'm out of water. Dang it.
Refuel. I mean, you could stop and just go get water for a bit if you need to. Or do you want to finish this now while you're still
I'm
here?
just gonna finish this now. It's
Alrighty.
not.
You're at the
It,
last stretch anyway.
mm-hmm. And I'm really starting to like this. How I'm doing this because it kind of gives it like a painted feel.
Yeah, almost. Because of the way like the colors aren't like fully blended in.
Mm-hmm.
It actually like gives the hair texture almost, rather than like paint. Or like when they use that fancy like bubble paper or whatever when they make fancy titles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And then all you gotta do is get rid of all those random stupid colors floating on the background.
Yep. And that's just a simple matter of.
Removing that layer.
Well, the issue is that layer is the eye layer, I believe.
Remove it anyway.
It's one of the layers, but I can just come in with my handy
Your white
dandy
paint.
vector eraser,
Oh,
and
I
I
thought
can
you
get
were
rid
gonna
of
say
a
white
majority
paint.
of them.
No.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah,
The hand could use a little bit of fixing, but at this point it's a non-issue. I'm not going to deal with it.
it looks fine.
Hands are just weird blob things anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like draw them properly. Where are those colors? I must
They're
destroy them.
on the hair layer.
Destroy them. No. Why is that one there? Oh, that was probably on a different layer if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm. From the looks of it. I'm going to presume it's on this. No, not. Yeah, this layer, I think. Yeah.
No, there's nothing else on that layer either.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hooray!
Yay! We're done with this one.
Yep.
Hit the save button. Now we need a name.
Ah.
Lysanderoth.
What? What awful garbage was that?
Soske Boske.
What?
I'm just stealing names from ProZD.
Okay. Lana?
That would work. What layer is this on?
It's her stand. Oh shit. I don't know. You
Hmm.
want to think of other names, or is that the only name?
We need. I need a name generator. Name generator. That's not the name generator I was looking for. Fantasy name generator. Fantasy names.
Shaggy.
You said Lana?
Yeah.
Lara, maybe?
Hmm.
Aerith? Finis? Or Finacy? I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Tennessee.
Finayass. Finace?
uh, Phineas? Phineas? Something like that? Phineas?
Froghanath. Enor?
Hmm.
Enora, maybe?
Eleonora?
That would work. I mean, doesn't give off the Vegeta sort of thing, but
Mm. It's like a name you could just shout.
yeah.
Sam?
I am the great dragon Sam.
Oh, but it could be like Samantha and she
Hmm.
shortens it to Sam.
That reminds me of the Shadowrun game that I was in. One of the
All right.
characters we had was a troll named Samantha because my friend Cable, who was playing, his character was named Mulder, and his
hmm
sister turned into a troll when magic came back to Earth, and then people were starting to reawaken, and so
All
people
right.
who would have been trolls and or would have been elves and shit like that, they are suddenly like magic comes back, and then they go through sudden transformation, which sometimes kills people
Yeah, sounds about right.
because it's generally exceedingly violent. But it's just like his sister is like his younger sister, who was who was like leading cheerleader, super high charisma, turns into a really fucking ugly troll. And I was like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
that's awful and hilarious. Aote
Hmm.
Panda.
Panda.
Mazzy.
Hmm.
Gwendolyn.
That's not bad, but there's already a giant lady named Gwendolyn.
Good point.
I blame Dark Souls.
Orvern.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, because it still kind of feels like it's not Vegeta, but it still kind of has that like guttural sound to it with the R's. Okay.
I put the burn in Orphan. There's no B in there. What are you talking about?
Suddenly launches fireballs at you. Oh no! Look out!
You thought these muscles were real? They're magic. These abs are painted on.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't punch people with her fists. She elbows people.
With her mind.
It's like, I built up all of these muscles so that I could crush you with my mind.
It's just like, what?
Just the brain pops out and just
The brain is just muscle. The brain's a
uh,
muscle too, Oh shit.
but yeah, so she was what? In her adult form. This is the boop. Your adult form.
Hmm.
Or I guess this is the Dragon Queen form. We're gonna put an E at the end.
Yeah.
So she stands what, 14 feet?
Yeah, something like that. 14, 15, somewhere around there.
14.7.
It's a big lady.
I think I got the. I think it's single then double, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Babby form. She's like
Just 9 foot,
8'2".
somewhere around there. Like 8, 9, somewhere around there.
Just by advancing classes, she gains 6 feet, 5 inches. I would do the Babby form tonight, but my hand hurts and I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that's a smart thing.
And I'm not. I really feel like I need to do a redo the model or the
For
skeleton structure, whatever it's called, construction
hmm.
line, or need to redo the construction lines from what I've got
Yeah,
because it's like it's not bad, but
it could work.
it needs a little bit of work.
Hmm.
And I don't think I'm going to work on that one anymore. That was mostly just a can I do this sort of thing. And the answer is yes, I can do this. It just requires a whole lot more work than I'm willing to put into it. But yes, join us next time.
When more stuff happens.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll be playing tactics. Maybe we'll do more drawings. I don't know.
Hmm. We'll find out.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.